So today I wanted to take two things that I bought for myself for my birthday. My birthday was at the end of December. I'm kind of a holiday baby, so I get a lot of new stuff going into the new year. I bought these for myself, and I'll explain why I did that in a minute. But my Amazon wish list and like friends and family, I'm very lucky that I have a lot of generous people in my life. So we've got a lot of cool, fun supply reviews and stuff coming up. But these two things I bought a while ago, and I bought them for myself. The reason for that was because they both were highly coveted. So when they went on sale, I didn't want to be like, oh, hey, so-and-so, can you get online right now and buy them for me? I mean, that just is a lot of pressure for somebody. So I had told my husband ahead of time, I was like, hey, there's two kind of expensive things that I would like to buy myself for my birthday. And he was like, go for it. So I bought this perfect sketchbook from EtchrLab. This one is the signature series. It is a 6.9 by 9.8 inch artist grade 100% cotton watercolor paper. It is Fabriano paper inside. It was a limited edition run. They only made 1,200 of these, so I definitely wanted one. And I got the cold press because that's what I like to work on. So this is just something, I love Etchr. I love their paper. I'm really excited to play with this. And to go with that, I bought myself this new set of Emma Lefevbre and Craftamo brushes. Like, just look at how beautiful this box is. If you don't watch her channel, you should. Emma is awesome, and I've learned a lot from her in the last 2 years. I've watched so many of her videos. She's a lot of fun. She is just a really good person too. And so I had been wanting to try a set of these Craftamo brushes, and this was the perfect opportunity. So this came in this beautiful box with a piece of Emma artwork. And here they are. There are 4 brushes in here. There is a 3/4 inch mop brush. There is a 12 round. There is a 6 round and a number 2 round. So we've got, oops, there's that coming off of there. So we've got really nice sized brushes for watercolor paints, for loose florals, for landscapes, all the things that I like to paint. So I thought today it would be fun to take these two things, plus one of my very favorite sets of paints, which is my handmade watercolor paint palette that I have, which is very loved. Here is the handmade watercolors. I can talk a little bit about these too. So these are from a combination of companies. One of the companies is Greenleaf and Blueberry. So this is a Greenleaf and Blueberry paint. So it's red ochre, the yellow ochre. They do really nice, beautiful handmade earth colors and granulating paints. So their Vivanite and Magnetite are 2 granulating paints that I absolutely love. And then I think most of the rest of what's in here is from Poems About You on Etsy. That's the rest of the colors that I didn't mention already. I'm trying to think about anything else. Oh, this Green Earth is also Greenleaf Blueberry, but everything else here is Poems About You. I really, really, really like them as well. They do really pretty watercolors. So I've kind of been building this handmade palette. So I'm going to do this. We're going to do a little bit of painting in here today. I'll tape it off and we'll paint a really pretty landscape. I think that's probably what I want to start this with. Let's open this and you can see inside of it. So this has deckled edge, which is like such a neat, fun detail. And this paper is just gorgeous. I can just tell it's going to be such a great sketchbook. I'm really going to enjoy this. There's a little ribbon in here too somewhere, so that's really fun. So yeah, stay tuned and you can watch me time-lapse paint, and then I'll come back and talk about everything, but I'm sure that I'm going to love all of these products. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so let's talk about these supplies. So I just did one piece, and that's not really enough to constitute like a full, complete, and honest review. But to be honest with you, I am not going to completely like fill up this sketchbook just willy-nilly because it was very expensive and is a little bit precious to me. So I am going to take my time in filling this up. But um, yeah, this paper's awesome. That's the long and short of it. There are some things about it that, in general, this book I want to talk a little bit about. The first is that it's still having a little bit of an issue with the lay flattedness of it. I would say there are other Etcher mixed media sketchbooks lay flat faster, but I think that over time that won't be a problem. I really think this paper did a great job of holding water, making colors. This water, the water on the page actually turned out really, really pretty. I didn't do anything too complicated. I just wanted to see how everything would kind of meld together to make a pretty gradient. One thing that's kind of weird and interesting is that this is artist grade Fabriano paper, but the word Fabriano is printed on some of the pages, and I wondered, so I specifically chose this page because it had that Fabriano stamp on it. Like, let me flip through and find another one. I know that they're here. So there's another one here. It's really hard to see. You hold it up so maybe it can be a little bit easier seen on the camera, but see how it says Fabriano like there against the page? So I wanted to see if that was going to be really distracting. And it is kind of distracting. Like, you can definitely see that it says Fabriano there in my art piece. It's not the first thing that you see, but I definitely think you do see it if you look for it. So I'm not sure about that. It is sketchbook work. So at the end of the day, I am making this for me and nobody else. But if I wanted to scan that and turn it into an art print, which to be honest with you, I might with this one, I definitely will maybe have to touch that up a little bit, or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just leave it in there and everybody will know I used Fabriano paper. But yeah, so that's kind of my review on the sketchbook itself. I would say that it's definitely worth the money. It's great to work in. It's going to be a beautiful piece when I'm completely done with it. The leather feels amazing, and I am definitely going to do pieces in here that are a little bit more precious and a little bit more special. I'm going to try not to like never use it because as the frugal crafter says, if it's too precious and you never use it, then why did you pay for it? And I want to make sure that I get my money's worth out of this investment. But I am probably not going to just like do swatches in here. That probably will not happen. So yeah, so that's that piece. Let me go ahead and talk about the brushes now. So you can already see these brushes are pretty well loved. I have used them on more than just this piece. I've been using them a bunch, and this is an awesome set of brushes. So this set will be really good if you like to do florals, if you like to do landscapes, anything that you would really do with watercolor. I think they're a really great set of brushes. They are a little stiffer than, say, your Princeton Heritage brushes. They're similar to a Princeton snap brush, but the shorter brush heads are really interesting and give you a lot of control. But I really like them. I really think this is a solid number 12 brush. I don't normally like a number 12. I normally like a number 10 a little bit better, but this number 12 is really awesome and really fun. Yeah. So I filmed myself showing off the brushes before, but I really, really didn't like the footage, so we're going to do it again. I'm going to start with the round 12 because that's the brush that I was talking about liking so much. Don't mind the dirty water, like I did say that before in the video. We're going to mix this green up here, and actually we're going to go ahead right in and just show how cool this works. So these brushes, for as short as the bristles are, actually hold a lot of water. And if you go ahead and just go like that, you can just see, clean up the tip there, look how much control I'm getting out of such a huge brush. And I could even do something that's a little bit bigger by going more along like that. Again, I can still use the tip of it to get something that's really nice and pointed. And I could do something even more like that with strokes, which is really, really, really thin and delicate. Or I could do something that's just more loose like this to give myself big leaves. So yeah, this number 12 brush for any sort of floral detail is actually super cool. Let's look at the number 6 brush and see what the difference is here. So I'm actually going to mix a little bit of dioxazine purple into this so that we get a darker green, just so that the colors are a little bit different. And it allows us to differentiate which one I'm doing where. All right, so here if I use the round 6, again, we're going to get nice details, but we can get a nice thinner stroke here. And if we wanted to do something that's even smaller than that, oops, so like let's go like this, there we go, something that's like a little bit longer and thinner like that, we can do a 1 stroke leaf like that. Super neat. I would be able to get some really cool detailed leaves on like that. And again, we can do some really small details here and put in things that look more like those kinds of clusters as well. So I really think that looks really neat and is a solid round 6 brush. I will probably use this round 6 all the time. As a matter of fact, I hope Craftamo that you sell these round 6s, because I would love to have a second one. Just the round 6 alone. Okay, and then the 2, let's actually use this like dark color over here and do the 2. Maybe I'll grab just like a touch of green to make it like a little bit of a greeny brown. Oh yeah, there we go. And we'll just show how thin we can get with this guy. Like super fine tipped. And then we can do some really delicate little leaves, even more so than that one. We can get some tiny little things like this going, like if we wanted to do buds on a leaf and then come through like that. Like, look how nice that turns out. And you can do some really delicate thin things like that. There's not a lot of water on this brush at this point because the paint wasn't very wet. Let's try that again, like that. So yeah, you can definitely get a lot of variety out of just these 3 brushes. This spot over here, I left a swatch so we could do a big swatch for the mop brush just to show how big of an area it covers. I'll use my phthalo blue for this. And just go like that so you can see how big of an area it covers and how fast. Really nicely. And I don't have it completely soaking wet. Like, I could add more water here and look, that moves a lot easier. Again, I didn't pick up the greatest quality watercolor paper just to do this test. I just kind of wanted to show you how these brushes worked in action. So yeah, I'm loving them. I'm loving them a lot. One other thing I wanted to say in the video was that I told you at the beginning of the video that I was going to use my handmade watercolor palette, and I started with it and I did the first layer and then I let it dry and I put everything away. And when I pulled this back out to do the second part of this video, I totally forgot that I did that and I used my Daniel Smith paints. So when I went back to look at some of the earlier footage and I realized that, I just wanted to mention that it wasn't because I didn't want to use the handmade paints. I just forgot. And so I picked up a different palette and started using a different palette halfway through. But it didn't seem to affect the final product at all. Just wanted to mention that. And that's going to be it for me today. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this video inspired you to make some artsy bits yourself. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.